You are only enabling it because you are staying. Now, I have to also say that women, look, you fear for your life as a woman, and this is something that it would be easier for a man to get out of it because he doesn't probably fear, mostly. I mean, some men have been murdered, so you can't really say that, and some men have to go into hiding, but the majority of domestic violence is towards women, and women fear their lives because, look at the homicides that happen. Women are being murdered all the time because of the overpowering strength by the male. And of course, so that's harder for women to get out of it. So that's why I made that video. And I really hope if you're in a domestic violence relationship, and remember, domestic violence doesn't just mean physical, it could have no physical. It could just be narcissistic, emotionally abusing behavior on a regular basis that you are feeling worse and worse about yourself and controlling. And this is same for men and women. The partner will control who you see, stop you from seeing your friends, control who you see in your family, want to check up where you are all the time, checking on your phone calls, making sure that they go and they look at your computer at what you're looking at. And that's why I made that video, to show you how to get out. So I'm not going to go over that again, but you really need to watch that video because I gave you the steps of how to actually escape if you fear for your life. And there is help. There are houses that will house you. You can apply for protection. At school, I've had students where their names have been completely changed because they're in hiding. Okay, so look, the video I made on that is absolutely brilliant. I mean, of course, it wasn't all my information. I study and research from the experts, and then I make a video with my knowledge about it. So if you are there, please, you're not alone. You need to get out. And for those of you who decide, I'm staying because of kids, and men feel like that too, and a lot of men think, well, I leave, she's so aggressive, violent, she threatened me, I will never see my kids again, and so I'm probably not going to see my kids again. So they end up staying. Well, and this is the same as women, I'll kill you, I'll kill the kids and I'll kill you, or I'll take the kids off you. But let me tell you something. If you are staying for the kids, you're doing your kids no favours, okay? Your children will look at that relationship and think this is normal behaviour. Oh, adults scream and yell at each other, and they call each other horrible names and degrade each other's bodies and degrade each other sexually and degrade each other in front of other friends and family. This is normal. Oh, and they hit each other sometimes too, but this is normal. And the thing that you're doing is you're not allowing the cycle to break. You are perpetuating, because believe me, those children end up in the same cycle, choosing the same partners, because we model that behaviour to our kids. And if we are violent towards it, and like I say, it can be emotionally abusive in just words, the children will grow up thinking that. And not to mention, your children will also grow up probably with anxiety, depression, end up self-harming, and may even suicide. So you are not doing your children any favours. And as long as both of you, let's say it's emotional abuse towards each other, and as long as your children aren't being hit and you're not being hit, and then you decide to leave, the best thing you can do for your children is both share the children, share the children, unless of course the person you are sharing them with is an alcoholic, abusive person who will hurt your children. Okay, then I understand. But too many relationships drag the kids because of you want to get back at the person because they left you, or they left you for another woman. And so some people drag their kids, and they drag them and totally ruin those kids' lives. Look, when I separated from my partner, I was 27, the father of my two children, and he was a good man, but we were different, and I broke his heart. Leaving him, and we still see each other, him and his wife and I. They were here 2 days ago. We had a couple of wines. They've moved from Harvey Bay now, where we live. And look, I love her. She's wonderful. And I told him I just said, look, I love you, and I want you to know. We were all sitting at the dining table. She was opposite me. I sort of whispered it, but she wouldn't care anyway. And I said, I want you to know I left, but you were a good man, and you were good to my kids as well, our kids, and I just want you to know that. And I saw the tenderness, because he often said, I love you still, Jayne, and his wife, myself, I mean, now that's 30 years now since I left, and him and his wife and myself and their kids and my kids with him, we have had Christmases together. I was excited that they were coming up all the way from Cairns and we're going to see each other again, because she has been a marvellous woman to my children, and she's been a granny to my grandchildren, and they call her granny, and I love her. That's this simple thing, and I've told her that. I love her and I will always love him. And I think when you're in a relationship, it's not really working well and you do decide to leave, there's no reason why you need to be vindictive, burn each other's things and, and keep on spying on them on Facebook. Listen, you're not doing yourself a favour. If you're actually upset over a partner leaving you, you need to try and move on. And part of the thing moving on is not seeing every picture on Facebook that they post of them and then your girlfriend. You're just hurting yourself. Okay, so back to the abuse. And so men actually stay because of that commitment, because they feel they have to, and in some way they can save the life, and so do women. And often also finances are joined together, and so the man thinks, God, I'm going to lose everything, and the woman, and I've met guys like that who say, I'm really unhappy with my wife, but I can't leave because she's going to get 3/4 of what I have. So I can understand these things, but you have one life, okay? And I'm talking about this from what I've researched, but also, I haven't got a paper in front of me, so I'm probably leaving a few things out, which I'll make sure in another video I'll talk about. But, you have one life. Live it. Live it in a happy way. Do not bind yourself in a relationship where even if you've left and you're still going and you're still putting up with this abuse, you're never going to save that person. That person has to get up and want to help themselves. And in actual fact, by doing everything for them and still being there every day for them, whether you're still living with them or you're not, you're just enabling it. You're going, okay, it's okay to be an alcoholic. I'll still put up with your shite. Better than saying the other word as a professional counsellor. And you can drink and you can abuse me, and you can take drugs and you can abuse me, and I'm going to still keep on coming back because I think I'm going to be able to change you. You're not going to be able to change that person. The person has to be willing to help themselves. And you need to understand, life is so short. And if you are still putting up with that, and let's say you're getting on in years, you're not going to be happy. And you'll remain stuck, depressed, anxious and unhappy. And one of the things that I always remember thinking when the abuse was going on, nobody's going to want me. Nobody. At that stage, I wasn't a teacher, I hadn't done a degree yet, and I just didn't have a lot of self-confidence because of childhood trauma as well. And I always remember when every time I thought of leaving, I think I'll never find anyone else again. I'll never find anyone else. Oh, girls, I'll tell you, once one door closes, 1,000 opens. And yes, there's lots that want you. Okay, so I'd like to end on this note. Do not belittle it when a man tells you I'm being abused, because he could be having violent words thrown at him, glasses smashed at him, going up like threatening his life with a knife. It is no different to what a woman has to go through, except that it happens more to women. And women, when they leave, they have to be so careful if he's threatening to kill you. And there's been too much homicide, and you don't hear that often about a man being killed in domestic violence. So at the same time, though, I think it doesn't matter whether you're a man, female, or a woman with a woman, or a man with a man in a relationship. No one deserves abuse. No one deserves control. No one deserves emotional bagging, telling you that you're this and you're that. And no one deserves to be hit. That's not love. Look at Desirata and what they call love and domestic violence, which involves emotional abuse or physical abuse or both. It's not love. It's not love. It's a neediness and the power and the control over the person. And please, if you are in this, you can get out. You have a voice, and there are people in Australia that will protect you. And there are actually, I'll put that up on my healing anxiety and depression group, which if you're listening to this video, it's free. I'm on it. And I make a lot of videos on my YouTube channel to help big groups of people because they can't afford counselling. Please contact that, because there is a place for men and there's places for women, and there are places where you will be protected. It's not like it was even 5 or 6 years ago, because of the whole rise in domestic violence and the understanding that women are getting murdered. So there is protection out there. Please think about leaving, and please watch my other video to show you how to get out of it and what you need to do. And it's actually really valuable, that video. So my beautiful people, men, you have been abused and you have been victimised, and I know that. Women, same thing. And your abuser will continually make you come back by preying on your softness and your caring and loving nature. And they will tell you that they can't live without you, okay? And you go back, and the violence and the abuse gets worse. Stop enabling it. Leave now. Take care. It's Jayne Green from JMG. Bye.